Hi everybody, welcome to the Grow Food Northampton Organic Community Garden. I'm Pat James, the garden manager, and I'm going to show you 3 gardens that we will use as a living laboratory for workshops and self-guided tours. Our first stop is the medicine garden. It's our most established of our common gardens, and it's really lush this time of year, especially since we just had 2 solid weeks of rain. So the garden is really thriving. This garden is a dense mixture of annual and perennial herbs and medicinal plants. It's all tended and harvested by community gardeners. In addition to using this garden as a living laboratory for workshops, we'll use grant funds to create signs for self-guided garden tours. This is the Lydia Child Heritage Garden, which was started in 2018, and this year is planted in flax and sugar beets. This garden was created in partnership with the David Ruggles Center, which has documented the history of the Underground Railroad here in western Massachusetts. The garden is named for Lydia Child, whose idea it was to obtain this land and grow sugar beets to demonstrate that sugar could be produced without the labor of enslaved people. Child later went on to become a nationally known anti-slavery orator and writer. The workshops that we'll have here will focus on the connection between the land and its history. We'll look back to pre-colonial times when this land was occupied by the Nipmuc people, and then examine the impact of colonization on the land and people, and learn about the crops that were grown by both pre-colonial and colonial communities in this region. Welcome to the Pollinator Habitat. This garden was started in 2018 and a part of the community garden that was not useful for food cultivation, in part because it was overrun with Japanese knotweed. It was created in partnership with the Master Gardeners of Western Massachusetts, and we're working with them to employ organic techniques to keep the knotweed in check. The garden is grown in stages to show an array of native plants that serve to both nourish and provide year-round habitat for native pollinators. This year we're building out the last 2 sections. In addition to workshops on native plants and their pollinators, we will use grant funds to create signs for a self-guided walk through the garden. Thank you so much for visiting the Grow Food Northampton Organic Community Garden. We love it, and we hope you do too.